being 10:30, I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Great Lafourche Board Commission of June 14, 2017 to order. Mr. Joe Casilli, lead us in pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to please remind you to turn your cell phones down or put them on vibrate, please. Next is roll call. Mr. Sherman.
C.A. Chucky Sherby here. C.B. Perry Gisclair.
Here.
C.C. Chris Godin. Here. C.D. Rodney Gisclair.
Here.
C.E. Mike Khaled.
Here.
C.F. Larry Griffin.
Here.
C.G. John Nelson.
Here.
C.H. Jimmy Gidry.
Here.
C.I. Urban Bruce.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sherman. Before we go to the next item, I'd like to say that, as you know, that we lost a commissioner, Mr. Wilbur Collins. Mr. Collins was a very good commissioner, was looked up to, very instrumental in a lot of things. He was an ambassador for the port in a lot of ways, and he will be sadly missed. And as of Monday night, I was not there, they had an election, and a new board member was chosen, and he is to my right, and I look forward to serving with him. But please remember the Collins family in your prayers. Again, he will be sadly missed, and we really appreciated him as a commissioner, and having him here, sitting on my right side for as many years as he was. Any board members have anything to say? I'm sure I speak for everyone, and that he will be sadly missed by all of us, and the staff.
I concur with that, Mr. President. I'd like for us to take a moment of silence in his.
And if we can take a moment of silence for Mr. Wilbur, as well as a moment of voluntary prayer for what happened in Washington, D.C. with Congressman Scalise and those others that were involved in that shooting in Washington, D.C.
I'd like to make another comment of Mr. Collins. Towards the end, he was hard of hearing. He'd come to the meeting, and then he wouldn't drive no more, so I'd bring him home. And on the way home, close up, I had to go through the whole meeting with him, because you couldn't hear most of the stuff that was going on. So I had to tell him what happened at that meeting, and it was something kind of funny, but I had to go to the meeting twice every time I bring him home. And I enjoyed that. I wish I could still be doing it.
And Mr. Griffin's correct. I used to bring him to the Lafourche meeting, and he always went over the agenda on the way going. And then I wouldn't get to take him back, Larry, or someone else would take him back, and then he'd go over the meeting again. He was very, very in tune what was going on in our report. He was very, very instrumental, man, and will be sadly missed.
Like I said, I wish I could still be doing it.
So we'll have that moment of silence and voluntary prayer.
All right. Again, we thank each and every one of you for being here and your consideration for our past commissioner. Next, swearing in of the new board member for CP. You're in the spotlight, sir. Go ahead, take the front. Stand here.
I, Charles Michael Colley,
I, Charles Michael Callahan,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States,
and the Constitution and laws of this state,
the Constitution and laws of this state,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all duties incumbent upon me
all duties incumbent upon me
as member of the Greater Food Port Commission,
as member of the Greater Food Port Commission, CE,
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Usually we give 15 minutes to the new commission, but if you have a few words to say, I see your family here tonight, right? Always good to see.
Well, I want to thank my family and friends for being here for me today, and I want to thank all of you for the confidence you've shown in me and for giving me the opportunity to serve. And I hope to be able to continue the progress that Mr. Wilbur and all of you have been making for our courts. Thank you.
Since I was not here Monday night, but take your hand tonight. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, welcome aboard.
Mr. President, if I can make mention, obviously when an appointment is made by the Port Commission, there's some paperwork that's involved. So Mr. Kale, unfortunately today can't officially vote, but he will be at all of our next meetings that we have. But there's some paperwork that has to take place, and it was sent yesterday to the Secretary of State's office. As soon as he has his commission letter in hand, which will probably be sometime next week or so, he will be officially able to vote. So he will sit up here today, listen and take part in the discussion, but when he comes to vote, he will not officially vote, and that's just because of paperwork that needs to be taken care of. The other thing I wanted to mention is that we will have a special election to permanently fill that seat, seat E, on October 14th of this year, 2017, and qualifying will be July 12th, 2017 to July 14th, 2017 for that October 14th election. Primary election and general election will be November 18th if necessary. So anyone interested in running for that seat, take note of those dates. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shelson. Next is consider approval of the minutes of the May 10th, 2017 regular meeting.
Move.
Moved by Mr. Mellison, second by Mr. Guidry. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next is Executive Director report. Mr. Shelson.
Thank you, Mr. President. First is the Northern Expansion Project, and the first project is Northern Expansion Slip C, 950 linear feet west sweep dredging project. Angela, please see over.
Yes, the contract on this project is RLB Construction. They are currently dredging. They have dredged about 30 to 35,000 cubic yards. I think it's 117 or so in the contract. The contract time ended May 17th of this year, so they are in the liquidated damage portion of the contract. I expect it'll take another 25 to 30 days for them to complete the dredge they have. They are aware of this. We made them aware, and to do everything they could to speed up the process. And the liquidated damages is $975 a day.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Lodge.
Okay, Northern Expansion, Site 625 improvements.
That project is being bid. It goes on advertisement today. We take the bids the day before, Tuesday before the next regular meeting of the port here at 10 o'clock in the morning,
Any questions?
July 11th.
Okay, thank you. Northern Expansion Slip C, 939 west bulkhead.
The contract on this job is sea level construction. They're currently out there. They have the drainage in. They're getting ready to start bringing in stone for the entrance road. We have approved the shop drawings for the concrete pile, the steel sheet pile, obviously the catch basins and culverts, so, and geofab. So they're in position to get started.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, northern expansion, slip C, 1,671 linear foot east bulkhead, PCO and Associates.
Yeah, we completed our project plans, we submitted them to DOTD for review. They gave us comments, and we've already incorporated their comments, so we are ready to go out for bid. There's a resolution, they run an agenda to recommend advertising, that has to be approved once that's done.
Any questions? Thank you, Joe.
Okay, mitigation dredge of slip D, anybody in place on engineers?
We have begun the advertising process for this project. We are scheduled to receive bids July 11th, same as Larry's project.
Any questions?
Yeah, have they, or have the Corps come back and with the elevation, have we, comments on that, or?
Bryce?
We did submit all that information, and they haven't had any feedback, but basically it's our position that we're gonna fill it to the elevation that we feel is best, and if it doesn't grow, we'll come back and do something else. But I think it will grow. I think as long as the more grows, they'll be fine with that.
Good, thank you.
It's a lot easier to add material there than to take it out.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, airport projects, Richard.
Yeah, just the operations totals, I know I stated on Monday night, I'll go through them again real quickly. For those that missed that meeting, we had 2,763 operations in May, 11,153 passengers, and 8,186 vehicle counts. And the keynote there is that was our busiest month of the year, and it was busier than that best month in 2016 as well. So that's important to know.
The other thing that Rich and I talked about this morning is the fueling of just transit aircraft. We've actually, at the point where we're on trend to double the fuel sales in our self-serve facilities. So Richard, you want to elaborate?
Right, in 2016, now we took that over, and it required some maintenance, we had to get it going, but we did. And in 2016, we sold 5,008 gallons of fuel out of the self-serve. In 2017 to date, actually it's probably a week ago now, we had over 5,097. So we're looking to double. If we continue that trend, we'll double this year versus last year. And I think the word's out, things are getting better, so that's good.
I think us doing a little work on our fuel prices
Exactly.
cause that trend to happen.
Exactly. And the other two graphics here are just the monthly totals of operations, passengers, and vehicles. The only thing to note there is that the highest month in operations and passengers is also vehicles, and the lowest month is, that trend is the same. And then we have one more graphic here that shows comparison of passengers and operations by operator. And as you can see, the dark blue line is it's Chevron, and the light blue is the Chevron's operations, and the orange is RLC, and the brown is RLC's passengers. So they're relative. You can see a lot more. Most of that passenger activity is being conducted by Chevron. That's basically it. Shall I respond?
Thank you.
Okay, other projects is the first is section 203 feasibility study, GIS engineering. Mohan.
Thank you. Good morning. Mohan Menon with GIS Engineering. Our feasibility study is in its second phase. As you all know, we have 4 phases to it. And the second phase consists of alternative analysis, which is in progress. By October of this year, we expect to select an alternative, which should be called as a tentatively selected plan. By that time, we also expect to submit the draft EIS for public and for review. So once we have that tentatively selected plan, which will go through the feasibility level analysis of that particular alternative. The economic study is being completed as we speak. Cost estimating and engineering aspects are ongoing. draft EIS preparation of that document, as well as the integrated feasibility study report. They're all progressing well and within the schedule. And in fact, we have expedited the schedule from the former one so that we can finish this project as soon as possible. 3 weeks ago, GIS met with some participating environmental agencies, such as U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services and National Marine Fisheries, to discuss all the requirements that need to be incorporated into our draft GIS. So that meeting went very well. They all are helping us with various templates, examples of some of the things that we are required to develop as part of the draft GIS. So that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Question? Things moving along, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the airport maintenance shop addition, Pisco and Associates, I think the only update is that we have a clear lien certificate.
Yeah, the lien period was done, and we have a clear lien certificate and a request to retain.
Thank you.
In Irving Collins Marina piling repairs, Davey.
The update we gave Monday is that these, 7 locations, actually in Port, we had priced wood piles and the R pile clusters. We did, at Perry's request, look at steel piles. It might be 25% more to do steel piles, but we feel that the steel piles, the 6 that we have in place are not bent, never been dented. So we wanted to get the commission's approval, and they pretty much Monday said, yes, we'd rather go with steel, so we're gonna put a quote together on steel piles for, hopefully have it at the next meeting.
Are we still looking at availability of surplus steel piles versus new steel piles?
Well, we actually priced both, and they were pretty close, so I think we're gonna do is let the contractors know,
Okay.
look, we got pricing from this pipe company of new, this pipe company of used. We'd like to make sure the thickness is what we're gonna make sure we want that heavy thick pipe. So, we'll give them information we gathered in getting estimates.
Any other questions? Thank you, David.
Okay, and last item I have is the offshore anchorage. Update on that is, as you're aware, we've been working on that for probably a couple of years now, but it just takes a while to get through the process. But that site that you see on the TV right there is the site that would be the offshore anchorage. And there's a couple more steps involved, but the update is that by October of this year, 2017, we should have a final rule and approved location for offshore anchorage. So that's good news.
I don't know if you or Davey, there was 2 sites, a 30 and a 50 foot. Are they incorporated in this?
Well, there were 2 sites. One was a little bit further to the west of that. When they started looking at everything, there were some obstructions in that one on the west. This was the one with the least amount, in fact, not any obstructions in the site, and it's big enough, and it spans from about 30 feet of water to over 50 feet of water. So it
I think that contour line kind of shows 30.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, we have an update from the LA1 Coalition.
Good morning. The coalition continues our engagement with DOTD, the Commissioner of Administration's office, and the Governor's office on the state's financing of Segment E through the Capital Outlay Program. While the Capital Outlay bill being voted on today in Baton Rouge by the State House of Representatives contains Priority 1 funds, which would in part facilitate constructing Segment E. That funding also needs to be approved by the State Senate later this week, then the Governor and the State Bond Commission. We're working with state officials on all of those. On the other funding mechanisms for LA1 improvements, we're continuing dialogue with the CPRA on Go Mesa program, and with the coalition's representative in Washington, D.C., we are monitoring opportunities that will come from the Trump administration relative to infrastructure. So that's my update. Any questions?
Go Mesa. What's the last word you heard about it in Washington? The news I heard wasn't good.
I could respond to
Chair
that,
has an update.
because I made the phone call when I heard about, to our congressional delegation. But, so the president's budget removed Go Mesa's state allocation, from the budget. However, in discussing with congressional delegation, Congress is not going to support that from everything that we're being told. And Congress's budget that they actually are going to pass is going to have those Go Mesa payments as normal in it. Okay, so we're obviously watching that and monitoring that, but we've all been assured that Go Mesa, as the original plan, is going to happen.
That's good news. It's better than what I heard.
Yes.
Any other questions?
All right.
Thank you, Marie.
Okay, we have public comment. I have two things I wanted to mention to the board on the public comment, just not necessarily add it to the agenda, but I have a couple of pictures for you. The Corps of Engineers is currently doing a maintenance dredge. They started on Monday, actually dredging. They have about 8 days of work they're going to be in. So, within the next 8 to 10 days, they'll be pretty much in and out. They're pumping that material to the east side of the jetty, on the east jetty, up against them, not on the beach, but up against the beachhead. Just kind of pumping it out towards that way to build up that intersection between the jetty and the beachhead. So that's what's going on with the Corps. And then wanted to update you on the Weeville boat launch fishing pier. You can see up on the screen, that pier is pretty much done. I think they have some other, there's some other work to be done, but it's really a nice pier. Recall the Port Commission was a part of funding a piece of that pier, along with the push power building.
The pavilion is gonna be where that,
Where that pad is.
brown area?
Correct. Okay. Any other public comment? That concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shell. So next is committee reports. First committee is executive committee. Members are Perry Gisclair, Chairman, Larry Griffin, Chucky Sheremy, and John Melison Jr. Number one is consider approving the request from Tailwind Holdings to extend hangar lease at the airport.
Okay, Tailwind Holdings is interested, their 5-year lease is coming up, and would like to extend it for another 5 years. And the recommendation is to approve that.
Moved by Mr. Melison, second by Mr. Sheremy. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next is consider approving the request from FCC Environmental Services for a right of first refusal on site GLF 624-8.
Okay, FCC Environmental is interested in right of first refusal here. That is 624A is where we're actually have a project about to commence on building the bulkhead. Our recommendation is to approve that.
Moved by Mr. Sheremy, second by Mr. Gisclair. Any discussion? Any public comment? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next is considering approving the notice of assignment to leasehold mortgages for Seaport 2, Martin Holdings, Bouchon Heavy Lift, and Offshore Support Services.
Okay, we approved these leasehold mortgages for these tenants several months back. Now the lender, actually the administrative agent for the lender, is trying to change from DNB Bank to Wintrust Commercial, and they're asking for our approval. I have no objection, and I recommend that you approve this.
Moved by Mr. Gisclair, second by Mr. Bruce. Any discussion?